We were talking when Defend Florida was just getting started. So great to see you, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Now, let's get right to it. You are working with Turning Point USA. Phenomenal. What are you doing?
I am the vice president of the Latinos Coalition here.
Love
in Tampa.
it.
Yes. I'm the VP. We have an excellent president too, Carlos Figueroa, and we're just building that conservative base here for the Latinos. Getting them fired up and connected.
Now, Latinos played a huge role with the last presidential election, and everyone talks about what happened in Miami-Dade, but there's a huge contingency right where we live. What does that look like in terms of that population group here?
Well, we definitely do cover a big portion of Hillsborough County here, and we did, show out to vote. A lot of the Latinos here, they showed up, they casted their vote for Donald Trump.
Why do they do that? Why does that community group just gravitate towards President Trump?
Well, a lot of us are from different countries that experience communism, experience socialism, and that for us, when we start hearing those type of that rhetoric from the Democrat Party and the left, that is the automatic no-go zone for us. And so when we start hearing that, we already know, wait, we got to step in, do something, cast our vote, because we do not want to see this beautiful country turn into one of those communist countries where there is no freedom and no resemblance of that.
And I can connect with that because where I grew up in Zambia, Zimbabwe, those countries adopted what people tried to do with the last administration, and get this, they're still trying to do it right now at the state level. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But let's go back to what you're doing. You actually have a specific niche within the Latino community that you're working. Very interesting what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So in addition to what I'm doing with Turning Point Latinos Coalition, I'm also just recently started with a nonprofit that we've created with locals here in Hillsborough County that have been actually affected by illegal immigration and the crimes committed by people here that aren't supposed to be here. And so I'm talking about deaths. I'm talking about people who've lost significant loved ones and that's changed their life forever. And so what we're trying to do, and I mean, now is the perfect time because these victims have been experiencing this, and there is a lot of stigmatism to talking about this because it almost seems like if you mention that this is what's happened to my family, that you're somehow casting a negative light to the Hispanic community or something like that. And that couldn't be farther from the case. This is just the reality of the situation. These situations where, for one, it's called the Voices Foundation. And we launched on Inauguration Day with President Trump. And the founder of the organization is Nikki Jones. And so she has been a longtime advocate, even before this was a crisis. Back in 2017, 2018, she was talking about this. And unfortunately, this has been an ongoing situation for a long time. But when President Biden came in the power, that just completely went crazy into crisis mode. And there's been more and more victims. We're seeing this. Recently, there was one, tragically, who lost their life, a 19-year-old here in Riverview that lost their life by an illegal immigrant from Honduras. And so this is a common thing that we're seeing. And so with the Voices Foundation, we're trying to help those victims, whether it be, helping them with any financial needs that they may have for funeral costs, for debt relief for those medical bills that are coming that they have to sustain. So
it's very, very difficult to even appreciate what these victims are dealing with. Number one, a tragic something happens. That's so brutal. And then on top of that, to have to deal with the fact that this tragedy took place by someone who wasn't even supposed to be here. Had our government been competent in performing the duties it's supposed to in the previous administration.
Absolutely.
So very, very difficult for people to deal with that. So your foundation, how do people get connected with it?
We do have a website. It's called thevoicesfoundation.org. And we are brand new, so we are definitely trying to build a grassroots effort here and building from the ground up. So donations are extremely appreciated because that is what's going towards helping these victims, whether it be mortgage relief, if they've lost a significant other that now they have to figure out how to keep their house. We're going to try and help them with that. If it's their child now doesn't have that kind of income to possibly go to college, we're going to help them with a scholarship to get there. It's things like that. So we would definitely appreciate it from all you patriots out there. If this is a subject that touches near and dear to your heart, I would really appreciate you come on board and help the Voices Foundation crew. Nikki Jones, you'll see other victims also listed on our website, and yeah.
It's so important to take action, my friends. Get behind this organization. Earlier I mentioned that there are things happening now at the state level that are trying to contradict and undermine what President Trump's doing. Right here in the state of Florida, a bill that was supposed to prevent non-U.S. citizens from voting, that got blocked here in Florida. Another bill that was supposed to prevent introduction of vaccine ingredients into your food, that got blocked. Another bill that was designed to require parental consent before your minors get certain types of medical treatment also got blocked. That's happening right here. And so this kind of organized resistance, organized subterfuge, if I could use that term, needs to be stopped. And how we're doing that is, you probably heard me talk about it, we have the Reclaim campaign, and my producer is going to put that on the bottom of the screen, reclaimcampaign.com. My friends, at the reclaimcampaign.com, which is a statewide conference, July 26th, 2025 in Venice, just an hour and a half from here, you're going to learn three things. One, how to get stronger, more capable, skillful candidates who represent you that can actually win in the primaries. Two, how you can raise more money in your location so you can get your candidates over the finish line and compete with the establishment, the people that are working to undermine a lot of things that you are fighting against. A lot of the things that I just mentioned with those bills. Raising money so you can compete with those special interests, because they have a lot of money. The people that want to keep the status quo have deep pockets, and it's hard to understand why anyone would want to allow unfettered immigration. It's not even immigration, unfettered illegal border crossing.
Yes.
Immigration is what I went through. I got a visa, I went through the whole thing. What your organization is fighting is criminal activity. So you need to be able to raise money to compete with that. And the third thing, which is what you're talking about, increasing your voice, being able to let people know what you're about so you can get more resources to provide to those in need. So it's a massive, massive undertaking. If you're interested in connecting with this organization, the
Voices Foundation, yep.
Voices Foundation, we're going to put that website, I'm going to ask you to mention that again before we end. But if you'd like to get that training and bring people in your community to that training, or have us host a town hall meeting where you are, go to reclaimcampaign.com. Two other websites I want to mention. We are here at Turning Point, and we're here with Open Mic with Michelle and Ali. You got to catch them on Rumble. Also, we're here on the CC and Coastal Conservative YouTube channel, talking to you right now. Please connect with CC and connect with Open Mic. Get your ticket to Reclaim Campaign. But before we leave, again, for the people that are really their hearts got pulled when you talked about what your foundation stands for, how do people get in touch with you again? TheVoicesFoundation.org. We also have the Voices Foundation on Facebook. We're on Twitter, and we're also on Instagram. Our Facebook is a little bit more active, but you can see a lot of the things that we're posting are real life victims that have been affected. And so if that is touching your heartstrings, please bring your support in any way that you can, whether it's a donation or a volunteer efforts to help these victims. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
You, Raj.
Thanks for the work you're doing. My friends, keep it right here. We'll be continuing giving you live updates here from Turning Point USA on this channel. Thanks. We'll see you soon.